might have to revisit that one where, because a lot of people say that, math is the language of God. And it's interesting that you're kind of saying it's almost our language that we use to interpret this phenomenon that we see in nature.
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah, um, I guess what I'm saying is like if you take a very simple math idea, two, to give that any concrete expression, I would need to exemplify it. Like right now I'm holding two pens. And what's so awesome about math and why people say it's the language of God is if I just say, well, I'm not talking about two pens, I'm only talking about the idea of two. I'm talking about two-ness. I'm not sure what that is, except for an idea of God. But I don't think God needs the symbol two to sort of like, I don't think God needs to like count on his fingers to understand two-ness. We do. Like and that's sort of like the building blocks of learning is like, um, this is two or a symbol that means two. But God doesn't need that. He knows two as an idea. In fact, this is what's remarkable. Two is his idea. I'm not sure we would have two-ness if there wasn't a God of order uh, behind all that we know. So
and I suppose that maybe that's what people mean, because when people do say that math is the language of God, um, when I hear that, I understand what they're saying. Um, but I think it is limited. Like,
yeah,
God speaks a lot of different languages, and God is
yes, yeah,
God is way, way bigger than mathematics. Um, but there is something I think majestic about mathematics. So I think the reason why people say that is because there's something majestic about mathematics. This thing that kind of happens in our brain that aligns with what we observe in nature. There's like congruence there, which is itself phenomenal. And
right.
then I think too, because it's like an invisible reality that we kind of bump up against and are daily engaging with, that we can't see with our normal five senses.
Yeah,
In that way, it almost gets into like a spiritual realm to some extent. Like this thing
yeah,
that we're interacting with, this realm that's invisible and yet it's intuitive to us.
right.
Um, and so I can see why, it's very easy to say math is the language of God,
Hmm.
kind of get
Absolutely.
metaphysical, the
Yeah,
metaphysical.
but even even that verse I've quoted, Psalm 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God. Well, we think about declaring as being in our language. If I declare something, I declare I'm going to go home at 6 o'clock tonight or something. Um, but when it comes to the heavens, that verse certainly doesn't mean that like, the heavens, the sky is shaking with English words in a declarative sentence. So how you know what you use when you analyze the sky, and you know what centuries and centuries of people have used from more recently Galileo, Copernicus, and Kepler and Newton, all the way back to Ptolemy and Aristotle, mathematics. So yeah, there's all sorts of things to say about math. Um, I suppose I believe that math is discovered more than created. That we are sort of observing things until we can express them in calculus or mathematical equations. And but I still believe that it's a human pursuit, in that I don't think God's like, in heaven with a grand hibiscus or a tremendous calculator computing things. It's like a very human pursuit to have to figure things out and then express them in words and symbols, where God just always knows everything. He knows every language. He's always able to speak every language.